To me, Global Reach Out is inspiring.
Is connecting with God, reaching out to the world, and impacting life.
The stories that shared is so personal and it deeply impacted me.
Global Reach Out to me is reach out to the truth.
Connecting hearts, connecting lives. You're listening to Global Reach Out.
To me, Global Reach Out is inspiring.
Is connecting with God, reaching out to the world, and impacting life.
The stories that shared is so personal and it deeply impacted me.
Global Reach Out to me is reach out to the truth.
Connecting hearts, connecting lives. You're listening to Global Reach Out.
Hello friends, a very warm welcome to Global Reach Out. And thank you for staying with us on this series called Highway to Happiness.
Session 4. Principle number 2. Live in the present. Now that you have let go of your past, the next principle to adopt that leads to the highway to happiness is live in the present by living one day at a time. Life is unpredictable and death is a certainty. You can't go back into the past. You can't control tomorrow. So live for today. The only power you have over today is today and not tomorrow. Live life fully. Live life thankfully. Live life faithfully. Some things are beyond your control. Instead of trying to live your life, what if? Learn to live your life, what is? Living in the present carries 3 significant implications. Implication number 1, seize the day, or in Latin we say carpe diem. You should not procrastinate in things you want to do today. Procrastination and distraction go together. The time for action is now. Words like tomorrow, later I will have time, eventually someday are killer words. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Accomplishment of anything, be it finishing a project, your office work, school assignments, inevitably brings a sense of happiness. Some people drift through their entire life. They do it one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time. It happens so gradually, they are unaware of how their lives are slipping away until it is too late. Producing happiness involves deciding, designing, and doing. The most effective way to be happier involve joining up these components. Number 2, make each day your masterpiece. There are only 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle, says the great scientist Albert Einstein. It is not the years in your life, but the life in your years that counts. 3, do acts of kindness, helping others to succeed, writing words of encouragement, leaving behind a few cents for the cleaners at the hawker center, giving coins to janitors, tips to pump attendants will bring you happiness. Never neglect the little things. Never scheme on the extra effort, that additional few minutes, that soft words of praise or thanks, the delivery of the very best you can do, says Og Mandino. Learn to add value to your job, your friend. Look for ways to insert a positive impression. Pay a compliment. Live fully and thankfully. A word of encouragement from us at just the right moment may alter the entire life of someone who looks up to us to an extent we do not realize. When you plant acts of happiness and generosity to others, you may not always know what the tree may grow from that small seed. Ultimately, what shapes the meanings of our lives is not what we get, but what we give. If you can make it your goal each day to find a way to add more value to people's lives than anyone else, then you'll never have to worry about success. Remember, the secret of living is giving. The best way to cheer yourself up is to cheer somebody else up, says Mark Twain. When I was growing up one day, one of the books that impacted me was Try Giving Yourself Away by David Dunn. His basic and proven principle is that when you try to give yourself away, greater happiness awaits you when you give a portion of yourself. How do you give yourself away? There are different ways to give a portion of yourself. One common way is to give money. If you must give money, bear in mind the wise saying of Unamuno. It is not the shilling I give that counts, but the warmth that it carries it from my hand. Other ways include giving compliments to the waiter who served you well, a chef who cooked a delicious meal, your spouses, your children, your colleagues, writing a note of encouragement, being thoughtful, show appreciation. In the words of Charles Schwab, be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. This means give your approval with your heart and be generous when you praise someone. There are warm impulses of the human heart, and they are priceless in their power to purchase happiness for two people, the recipient and the giver, says David Dunn. And happiness is one of the greatest gifts within the power of any one of us to bestow. But they all start from the same spot, your heart. The French have a proverb, he gives nothing who does not give of himself a portion of your time. When you give a portion of your time, you will add to the happiness of those around you and lead a happier and more exciting life. It is the spirit, not the substance, which carries warmth. One of the compensations of life is when you learn to give yourself, you will discover it is virtually impossible to give yourself away without getting back more than what you give, provided you give away with no thought of reward. As Seneca, the Roman philosopher, once wrote, there is no grace in a benefit that sticks to the fingers. Usually the return comes in some wholly unexpected form, perhaps long after you have forgotten the giving away episode. I have found this to be true time again and again. When I give of myself, be it time, treasure, or talent, it always boomerangs back. Of course, it is not always in monetary form, but if it is, I take it as a bonus. Let us be reminded of Ralph Waldo's truthful statement. Rings and jewels are not gifts, but apologies for gifts. The only gift is a portion of yourself. He who praises another enriches himself far more than he who does the one praise. To praise is an investment in happiness. The poorest human being has something to give that the richest cannot, according to George Adams. When was the last time you did something good? When was the last time you wrote a letter to encourage someone? If you are past 50 and look back at your life, what would it be? Regrets? Fulfillment? One of my favorite poems is this, by Stephen Grellet. I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, I can do, or any kindness I can show to my fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect, for I shall not pass this way again. So live in the present by living one day at a time. Remember, when something bad happens, you have three choices. You can either let it define you, let it destroy you, or let it strengthen you. Each day brings possibilities. Every day, regardless of how dark the clouds are, the sun rises the next day. Today is not yesterday. The only preparation for tomorrow is the right use of today. Live one day at a time and make each day a masterpiece. Yesterday is a cancelled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is the only cash you have, so spend it wisely. K. Leons. Summary. Second principle. Live in the present by living one day at a time.
We will close here today. Please stay tuned to Global Reach Out. Let's meet again next week. Goodbye.
The program is proudly presented by Global Reach Out. We welcome you to share our live enriching webcasts with family and friends through our website, global-reachout.org. Let's reach out to bless more lives together. The program is proudly presented by Global Reach Out. We welcome you to share our live enriching webcasts with family and friends through our website, global-reachout.org. Let's reach out to bless more lives together.